I don't like holding flashlights, and I also don't like wearing headlamps. So I came up with this idea. Not the most practical with these glasses, just because it's really heavy on one side. But the proof of concept works. Today I'm going to do the same thing, but with this safety hood. The electronics are going to come from this Harbor Freight light switch. You can get them for less than $2 usually. Pretty simple piece of technology. 4 AA batteries, light switch, lights. I'm going to get rid of everything except for the battery housing, the wires, and the lights, plus the switch. I'm just going to cut it off with a hacksaw. Be careful not to cut anything that's important. These lights are just kind of like plastic welded onto this reflector. We don't need the reflector, so we can just get rid of it. To make this more compact and more professional looking, I'm going to connect the two battery housings just by plastic welding them, rubbing a hot soldering iron over the seam, and just kind of mushing the plastic into one another. Nothing scientific here. Not super strong, but it worked for this project. I could probably go back, reinforce it with epoxy, and that would be best. Now this project was really just an excuse to play around with my soldering iron and get used to playing with electronics. I've gotten into that recently, so I'm shortening up wires that need to be super long. Um, None of this is really needed. I just felt like doing it. The resistor, it was big, so I shortened it, resoldered it back on there, mainly just to get the practice in. Next, I'm going to screw the switch circuit board thing onto the battery housing just to keep everything together. Then I'm attaching the whole entire battery pack to the hood with 2 screws in diagonal corners. That's going to be more than enough. You're also going to notice I have some long wires running from the switch to the lights. Those are my wires, not the factory wires. Um, I did that so that I could have the lights further away from the switch. One of the trickier parts of this project was figuring out how to fix the lights onto the hood. I didn't want to rely on glue, and if I were to put a screw through those holes that you see on the end of the lights, there's a good chance I'd short out the light and it wouldn't turn on. So I had to use some type of non-conductive material to secure it in place. The solution I came up with had to do with 3D printer filament. It's basically like plastic string, and I made rivets, kind of. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I took a blowtorch and heated up some metal, and then I mashed the printer filament onto the metal, which made it mushroom out and form like a bead or a head. Then I cut it down to size and stuck it in the hole. And then to secure it in place so that it couldn't just fall out, I brought my soldering iron into the other side and melted and mashed it down into place. That way it couldn't fall out. And that's all we got. I'm happy with how this turned out. If you have any questions, let me know down below.